All right. Hey, everyone. This is Pine Grove News Live. And I already made a mess up on the music choice, so you'll be hearing something else. All right. But anyway, hey, everyone, it's, let me shut this off, man. It's 6:01 p.m. here on the East Coast in southern New England, North Connecticut. And it was a beautiful day today. Sun was out, it was like 60 degrees. Felt like spring again. Yep, certainly did. Now the sun is setting, little pink hue. And guess what? Got those little critters, running around, going door to door, ringing doorbells. Yeah. My wife had to go to a second job, because she wants to buy Christmas gifts. I don't celebrate Christmas, and we have a better understanding this year, at least if she wants to go buy presents, that she'd have to do it another way because we can't afford it. Not to go in debt again for another who knows how much on the credit cards. Got a deal going. She wants to be like everyone else and be in debt and just live life like that because everyone else does it, right? So it's got to be right. But no, not right. And we decided to, get rid of them, go debt free. Why not? Economy may not last that long anyway. So if you hear some noises in the background, that's the little critters. For some reason, my wife has designated, or at least our children have designated my wife next in line because my wife's mother died, and so the next person to go to whose house is nearby is my wife's. So, and there's only one child out of the 3 grandchildren that are actually going out dressed up as something that I do not know. But anyways, that's the unequally yoked part that, us unequally yoked partners pray about all the time. So lots of news out there, lots and lots of news. I had a plan. I always have a plan, but it never goes the way it planned, right? Never. Because I planned it. Oh, there you go. So we can just, I don't know, bless everyone who's here. Bless everyone who's going to be out tonight. It is not a Christian celebration. It's quite the opposite. And I just, people just don't care. They don't care. They're living life to its fullest at the moment, and, consequences be damned. And so, why don't we just get going? We're going to look at this from Strange Sounds. We're going to do the weather like we normally do first. And then I'm not too sure about where we're going, but we have, a sequence of events. So anyways, from Strange Sounds, this unprecedented deluge in Italy. Water levels rise 10 meters in the river. Hundreds of Macerata burn down in apocalyptic fire. So this is awesome. I mean, I know people on Mixler can't see this right now. I sometimes wish that y'all. I like the interaction, and I can't, like I said, interact over there, the live YouTube stream, because you have to have an account, and they obviously took away my 2 accounts that's over at my PC that's, monitoring the live stream anyway, and I can't chat there. They're just trying to make it miserable for us, and who cares? We can chat here on Mixler, but you cannot see. Can't see the news. you can hear it. You know, listen to what I'm saying. But so, anyways, this bridge in Italy. I mean, it's just it is. I don't know what is it? 10 meters is. Someday, maybe someday I'll learn the metric system. But heck, you know, I think that was one of the reasons why that and algebra was one of the reasons why I quit school when I was a kid. Yeah, my mom said, you know, you're going to quit school. You don't want to go? Get a job. You know what? I got a job. Yep, installing carpet. Yep, when I was 16 years old. And so this bridge, I mean, like I said, I mean, it looks in feet. I would say what, 30 feet, 35 feet, maybe more. It's filled up. The water from that river is right to the bottom of the bridge. It's like the bridge is just sitting on top of water. Just amazing. I wonder if they mention it in feet. But I'm telling you, we're not, got to be some kind of rude awakening. I mean, we're going to, all these storms, that just are unprecedented in its time. And they're happening all the time now. So, and there's some other pictures. There's another video in there as well of the water level. Let's see, and there's actually quite a few videos. This one is and I can't read Italian because that's what it's in. Headline anyway. So I don't know what maceratus is, but there were 700 that were destroyed during a fire in an Italian port of Savano. Yeah. So due to the salt water, car batteries began to explode. Oh, this is after the water receded. Wow. Yes, that makes sense. All right, so let's continue on. There's a couple more weather-related stories here that we can get to. Still from strange sounds. Almost a foot of very early first snow. Blankets Ifrane, Morocco. Video and pictures. Sunday's drop in temperatures throughout Mexico has led to the first snowfall, reaching 30 centimeters. There we go again. And yeah, we're kind of isolated here, and even Canada, I believe, does the metric system. 30 centimeters. And so the city known as Morocco's Switzerland, not used to seeing snowfall this early before winter. Most snow falls in January. So, yet it's another unusual weather event. Yeah, that's one other thing I wanted to mention. I know it's, keeping track of the trees around here in New England and the foliage and all that stuff. I mean, we still have trees that have green leaves on them. And it's not the evergreens, of course, Pine Grove, because I do have probably the only pine grove on Pine Grove. So, but the trees, the wind, the leaves have been falling, but they're not down yet. It's, October 31st. Just the past couple years, I mean, I've had to have all my leaves picked up and put out in the front yard by November 2nd. I mean, that's in 2 days. They're not even down yet. The majority of them are still up. I heard rumor of some snow, but we'll see. And think about it because now Morocco, a couple months early with their snow, and seasons are just messed up. I don't know if this is Satan's way to confuse the seasons and the times, because that's what the Lord says that we are to watch, right? We're to watch, and we're given the signs and the seasons. So, he's trying to confuse us all. Anyways, with this snow-covered evergreens and steep-peaked houses, my friend becomes a winter wonderland with each snowfall. So, woke up, snow on the ground. I wish they'd tell me. I mean, I'm looking at pictures, and it's not a lot of snow, but it is snow early. And they have a short video clip in there too. Let's see. Thought I had more other related incidents out there, but you know what? I don't know. Maybe for a second there, I thought we've been hearing a lot about weather because that's what's been going on everywhere, a lot of places, all around the world. Thought maybe I'd give you a little break. There are a lot of stories about weather out there. You won't be, you go looking, you won't find a lack of stories for that. That's for sure. We're going to talk about some other things, about something Trump was saying, and Speaker of the House, and a couple other things going on. But in the meantime, let's talk about this thing, which we should know about. Maybe you don't, because I've actually heard about it before, and this is from naturalnews.com. Heard of this, okay? Especially at night, because I watch and I'm on the computer until I can barely keep my eyes open. Sometimes, I fall asleep and wake up again, shut it down. I got it right in my face because I'm looking at it. And there's something out there that somebody told me about, that you got to get away from the video, the light from the video, from the computers, at least 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. I don't remember exactly what happens. I think it's part of it is insomnia or trying to get to sleep, and there are other reasons. But you go out there. So this article is called "Prolonged Exposure to Blue Light from Mobile Phones Can Lead to Macular Degeneration." Now, I'm not too sure what macular degeneration is, but I know I've read a little bit about it and talked about some type of eye illness, and even going blind from this light. I mean, what is it, Traveris? I forget her first name, but she's been doing due diligence out there about these LED lights that are on your streets now, that put out some kind of light and or frequency that could do a number of things. One of the biggest things of all these things that are accumulating is the fact that a lot of them point to infertility in men and women. Right? Georgia Guidestone's 500 manageable number, remember? Well, we can't have them keep having babies if we try to get the population to a minimum, manageable number. So, there's a lot of talk these days about people being infertile through the foods that we're eating, through the fluoride and other stuff that we're drinking from the tap water. Now we got these phones that everyone puts up to their heads, and they constantly are on. And I have to admit, I am constantly on my computer, or I'm watching something on the TV. I don't watch much TV, but it's either that or the other thing. So now we're going to listen to my dog bark at the doorbell going off, so you will hear that. Okay? It's just another, another demon ringing the doorbell. But this house is blessed, so they're not allowed to come in. Yep. You can bless your own house. Olive oil and prayer. Put them on the doorpost. Remember? I learned that from somebody. So, is your smartphone making you blind? New research has confirmed that the blue light emitted from cell phones and other gadgets can cause lasting damage to your eyes. Eventually, maybe even lead to blindness. So as screen time continues to increase, the risk of macular degeneration from too much blue light increases. Now, the other thing that I learned is that you can get and wear glasses to protect yourself from this blue light. And I believe that there is also an app out there. Now, I didn't take the note when I heard it, so all I can remember is that there is an app and you can get glasses to protect yourself from this blue light. So just go to Google, Google search blue light protection. Yeah, so do that, especially if you have to be on the phone. And even when I'm on the phone, I use the speaker thing, I don't want that thing up to my head, at least, amount of times as possible anyway. You don't want the thing up to your head. Yeah, and we'll talk about frequency briefly towards the end of this video, again, about this 5G being rolled out in 23 cities. We'll get to that in a minute. So we'll go on. We'll talk about everybody's favorite subject at the moment besides the midterms, which may have something to do with the midterms, but it's actually this immigrant caravan, okay, or invasion force. Now, the numbers that they're talking about, again, seem to be at least half less than it was before. Nobody's talking about 14,000 anymore. They're not talking about any other bigger numbers. They're talking something like 7,000 now. But there are 2 more caravans behind each caravan. So this big one, which this article from NWO Report, they got buses, okay? Somewhere along the line, you're bound to see buses, right? They've done it before. And I know that a lot of them, even though there was an article out a couple of days ago about Mexico offering jobs and other things for some of these immigrants, well, some of them have accepted it. Place to stay, work, whatever. So that's good news. At least there were some people in that caravan that actually was looking for a better life rather than trying to hurt the U.S. But listen to these articles. I know you've heard a lot about this, but you have to be, you don't have to know about it, but it's probably good to know about what some of these caravans, and now there are 3, each one after the 7,000 is about 1,000. And there's talks about the 1,000, that's the third number, mixing with the second number, creating a 2,000. And anyways, obviously, this story keeps unfolding. So illegal immigrants load up illegal immigrants on buses for comfy rides. Some of these buses, they don't really seem big. But the problem down here, I'm going to let you listen to this clip from Fox News. And I guess I'll just go and say it right now. I'm stating copyright law, that we're allowed to do it because we're a news agency and we're only putting the news out there for teaching purposes and informational purposes. So basically that is paraphrasing the Copyright Act. These Fox News and CBS, they will try and hit you for copyright, even though, they probably got the news from somebody else, But anyway, second migrant caravan enters Mexico. But let's listen, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Here we go.
What's the status of the caravan, and are they showing any signs of slowing down?
Hey, Sandra, absolutely not. It doesn't matter the 5,200 troops on the border or the admonitions from the administration. Let me show you something new that's developing here, and that is we've seen the 4,000 or 5,000 strong caravan walking to the border, but it seems now they're doing more of waiting for a ride to the border. This is the first time I have seen since I've been here an organized bus operation from the state of Oaxaca, actually getting volunteer buses to put people and load on them and take them to the their next location. And that's fairly significant now because, you know, these towns, they continue to help them. When we began this way back a week or so or more, when the Mexican police were trying to dissuade them from coming across the Guatemala-Mexico border, it seems now some of the least Mexican towns are really assisting them to make their way. Now, there's been a little bit of tensions on some of these because they're trying to get the buses for women and children primarily, but in many cases the husband's with them or the father and they don't want to be separated, and in some cases just the men, which make up at least 50% of this entire caravan or more, want to be in there. But here's the real problem. There's only 11 buses so far that we've counted that we're told is coming, and you would need upwards of 80 or more buses to actually move everyone. So a lot of people aren't going to get rides, and that's going to make for some tensions as they go next to their next stop, Yucatan.
Yeah, so I just want to stop it here for a second and have you look at this, okay? Here are some women, one woman with her baby. Can you imagine walking hundreds and hundreds of miles with a baby? So I don't think so. I don't think so. But anyway, yeah, big problem. 11 buses for, you know, over 7,000 people, needing at least 80, and whatever.
Yucatan, which is about 30 miles from where I'm standing in Miltepec. Ultimately, they want to go to Mexico City, and then they want to get to the U.S. border, Sandra.
Griff, what can you tell us about this second caravan?
Very important. You know, it is perhaps the advance of this caravan that's inspired a second and actually a third. Right now, we've seen in the last 24 hours the police battling with another sort of caravan of 1,000 or so trying to get across that same river down in the Guatemala-Mexico border. But a third one, we're told from the organizers of this caravan, they're talking forward, is they're originating in El Salvador. They're trying to catch up to join the second caravan. So there's a second and a third. In total numbers, that's about 2,000. So it's certainly growing, not necessarily dissuading anyone, although we should say that there's been about 1,500 of the original caravan that did turn back, were repatriated, or took Mexico's offer for temporary asylum. Sandra?
Griff Jenkins, you continue to bring some amazing pictures.
Okay, so there's some news there. Fox News. Kind of up in the air about Fox News. I mean, there's some people on Fox News that I particularly like listening to, like what's that, Tucker Carter or something like that. He drops a lot of stuff on my Facebook page, and I like his approach to how he doesn't, you know, pull no punches, and he's a very smart guy. So he's very fun to watch, very informative. So what else is involved with this? This is from the End of the American Dream. Shock claim. The media is reporting that some in the second migrant caravan have guns and bombs. Okay, again, from End of the American Dream. And whatever, I mean, so the second migrant caravan has been attempting to breach Mexico border with Guatemala. And the media is reporting that some migrants in that second caravan are armed with guns and bombs. This is a very serious claim, and it needs to be either confirmed or retracted, because it is not helpful to have unconfirmed reports spreading like wildfire on social media. Sure. There have been endless discussions about these migrant caravans on all the major news networks in recent weeks, and they were getting so much attention that they almost overshadowed the midterm elections. There you go, bingo. It is all intertwined, which are going to happen next week. And if this latest report is true, concern about these caravans is certain to reach a fever pitch. Yeah, well, let's go on and talk about some of these consequences. Okay? Well, this is something Trump's trying to do, okay? And we have 2 short articles about that. But he starts talking about, let's see, right here, new NWO report, okay? First, can Trump end birthright citizenship with an executive order? Okay? That's where, you know, if you're an illegal immigrant, come to the United States, you know, figure on right now 7,000 people, maybe 9,000 again. Numbers keep changing. Then you come across the border and you give birth to a child. Well, technically or legally at the moment, that child immediately becomes a U.S. citizen. And that, hence the reason why some of these immigrants do this. So anyways, on Monday, President Trump announced to Axios on HBO that he would pursue an executive order to outlaw birthright citizenship just before the election. It was always told to me that you needed a constitutional amendment, Trump stated. Guess what? You don't. Then he added, you can definitely do it with an act of Congress. But now they're saying I can't do it just with an executive order. We're the only country in the world where a person comes in and has a baby, and the baby is essentially a citizen of the United States with all those benefits. And calls it ridiculous. Well, I would agree, but we're not the only country. And that's what I just passed here. According to this, anyway. There's another article that states that we are not the only ones. Canada does it as well. But from Radio Free Europe, okay, where is citizenship granted by birth? According to this, there's more than 40 countries that grant nationality or citizenship to babies born in their territory. And you have the list below. You know, Argentina, Barbados, Belize, Bolivia, Canada, Chile, Costa Rica, Cuba, Ecuador, and on, Guatemala. And of course, that's where all the people that this is all the immigrants coming here now. Let's see, Paraguay, Peru, United States, Uruguay. Of course, I did mention Canada, the Grenadines, and Vincent's. Granted, they're much smaller companies, but the whole thing is that it was the countries that are, you know, more developed, I guess. Well, that was the reason why they said that they were the only one, or them and Canada. So somewhere down here. Because, what was that, Speaker of the House Ryan told Trump that he can't do that executive order thing. And I'm trying to look for that, but I cannot find it at the moment. But I found this, and that is basically Trump's response to the Speaker of the House, Ryan. And he says, according to Sputnik, Trump claims U.S. House Speaker Ryan knows nothing about birthright citizenship. I just love this guy. He pulls no punches either. And he definitely, really pats himself on the back. Yeah, I used to have a brother like that. Thank God he changed. Thank you, Lord. So Washington, Sputnik, U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Paul Ryan needs to stop talking about birthright citizenship and instead concentrate on retaining a Republican majority in Congress and securing the U.S. border. Paul Ryan should be focusing. Yeah, well, you just said that. So, okay, that's enough. We need to talk about that, I guess. You go to the 14th Amendment. It says that the U.S. Constitution grants citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, a provision that has never been examined by the U.S. Supreme Court to determine if the passage applies to illegal immigrants. Well, according to Trump, he can do that with an executive order, and it can definitely be done by Congress. So, here, also from the New World Order. Now we'll shift another gear for the same subject, okay? And we're sending more troops down there too, so you'll hear about that as well. I believe it is 5,200 that we're sending down there, along with the, I guess the National Guard or the Border Patrol, but anyway, we'll get to that. So here in NWO. President Trump says U.S. will build tent cities to house the caravan migrants. Yeah, we seem to have plenty of tent cities in many, many places. I mean, you know, we still have homeless tent, I guess you can call them housing. You know, let's not, don't, just because it's not in the news anymore doesn't mean that there's something still not right with, you know, Houston, okay? Those people, again, are still underwater. They still have a lot of homeless people. You know, all those, in Florida, all those places that have been hit in the past year, 2 years, and probably even, I mean, look at Haiti, what the Clintons did to that. Yeah, just a lot of people homeless. There's a lot of homeless people in America that shouldn't be. And we can go on and on about things that are going on in this country that really is defining us right now. It's not good. So, going to build tent cities, okay? Well, that's one thing besides bringing the troops down there. And what else are they going to do there? Let's see. Yeah, this is what else they're going to do. U.S. military sending miles and miles of concertina wire to the southwest border. That's that wire, you know, Dabu 7 has talked about it. It's the wire that has the razor blades on it. The little goes in a spiral like a slinky. So by the end of the week, we will deploy over 5,200 soldiers to the southwest border as part of the Operation Faithful Patriot. Air Force General Terrence J.O. Shaughnessy head to the U.S. Northern Command told a news conference on Monday. That is just the start of this operation. We'll continue to adjust the numbers and inform you of those. The 5,200 active troops are in addition to the 2,092 National Guard troops. Okay, so it is National Guard deployed earlier this year. Okay, so the soldiers will harden the points of entry and address key gaps in areas around the points of entry. And it goes on and says that that's not all. We have enough concertina wire to cover up to 22 miles. That's not long. That's not much. 22 miles. You know how long that border is? In any case, I'm not too, you know, I don't know exactly what they have up, what's being built. I know that they started Trump's wall, but last time I checked, it wasn't getting too far. But maybe they're just not reporting on it. And so they said they have additional concertina wire that we can string with over 150 miles available. Okay, so that's better. But anyways. Okay, and let's see. I guess that's it for the caravan. Or maybe that's why my Facebook is so slow these days, is because I keep calling it an invasion force. Remember, that's a bad word. You know, that shooter, his name Bauer or something like that. Yeah, apparently he was saying that on his social media page as well, calling these immigrants invasion force. Well, if they're carrying guns and bombs and saying that they don't want to stop, they just want to go right to America because of conditions that the U.S. has created in our country, blah blah blah. We're angry. Yeah, I would say it's an invasion force. And if and it's more than 50%. That guy from Fox, that talking head, whatever you want to call it, okay, in the pictures and videos that I've seen, I don't know about anybody else. You tell me, what's the real figure? It's not 50%. I'd say it's more like 85, 90% men and, somewhere between the ages of 16 and I'd say 50 or 60, mostly in the lower range. In any case, so that's enough for talking about that for now. You will hear more. Okay, so we know that Iran, going to shift a little here. From Now the End Begins, we know that Iran once said that they're going to wipe Israel off the face of the map. They won't be found on any map. So now the PLO announces that they no longer recognize the right of the state of Israel to exist as a nation. And I guess these are the Palestinians who, want to talk with Israel and want to create a two-state solution and all this other stuff, but Israel has to give up everything that they won in that, 1967 war? Maybe it was before that. Yeah. And Israel, when have you ever heard, and we've talked about this before, when have you ever heard of, two countries fighting each other, and then, the winner, takes land or occupies the land in which they fought for? And so, yeah, it is the pre-1967 lines. When have you ever seen anybody have to give back that land? Well, Russia took Crimea. I mean, that was given to those people, and then they came and took it back. Indian, or whatever. I don't want to say that. I'll probably get in trouble for some kind of racist remark. But when we were growing up, we used to say that whenever it was appropriate at the time. Somebody gave you something, and then they took it back. They usually call it an Indian giver. I don't know why they call it an Indian giver. So I don't know why. But as a kid, that's the phrase I used, and I was used to it. So, in any case, that's what it is. So State of Israel until it recognizes the state of Palestine at the pre-1967 lines, with East Jerusalem as its capital, according to the Palestinian news agency Wafa. So Palestine is not now a state or a nation, and in the history of the world, no such place has ever existed. Modern-day Palestine is a creation of Muslim terrorist Yasser Arafat, remember him, and it was created only after Israel was formally regathered on May 14th, 1948. So anyways, so things continue to, twist and turn over there. Oh yes, here's some more weather news. I wonder where this was hiding out. Yeah, from the big wobble. Spain suffers a whiteout. Italy is flooding under torrential rain, and Germany battered by tornadoes, and Hungary is breaking heat records. So there you go, folks. That was yesterday, posted yesterday, and weather everywhere. And they're going through a lot of things over there. I remember when it started, quite a few years back. 5+ years. Remember when the first deep freezes started coming to the Middle East over there, Europe. I mean, everything was just layered in very, very thick ice. It looked very cold. So, anyways, this is a good article. Extreme weather. You want to get some history. So, also from the big wobble. This is serious, folks. Imagine if the human population fell by 60%. Think about that for a minute. But now, wildlife populations have declined by 67%. and in less than 50 years, according to the Living Planet report from 2018. 67%. I mean, we constantly have mass die-offs. I think we should even, if I can ever find time and remember what I said that I was going to do, there's a lot of videos that I wanted to make. In any case, just haven't had the time. And this would be a great one to have because the Bible does talk about these beasts, of the field. They will be taken away. The birds, and they are being taken away. For one reason or another, there is a website out there too that covers it. Maybe it's even called massdieoffs.com. Or you just go Google it. I know there's sites out there that list everything. And we did it just, a week or so ago. We gave you a short list, actually. Short list of mass die-offs. Not only does that happen, but, the pestilence, strange things, strange polio-like diseases and other things that are coming back, and they don't have cures for them. Their antibiotic system is not working with these new strains or new diseases that are coming out, so things are not looking too good that way. I'm just going to read the first page, the first line here. So Big Wobble posted this frightening warning. Tipping point breached. The monarch butterfly has a 95% decline since the 1980s in North America. 2/3 of all animals and insects extinct in 2 years. Wow. Well, that's kind of extreme. Just 2 years' time, the world will have lost 2/3 of all wild animals. This amazing statistic from the Living Planet Index goes on. The number of wild animals living on Earth is set to fall by 2/3 by 2020. A lot of that just sounds prophetic to me. Not only in number, 2/3. We were talking the other day about 1/3, of the ocean dying in the Pacific, with that Fukushima thing. And that still continues to go on. 300 tons of radiation dumped into the Pacific every day. Every day. Remember, they have, what do they have? 3 plants over there? Maybe 4? They're just gone. One's, like I said, melting a hole to China. What if that actually melts far enough? It would take an awful long time, don't you think? 1 core of radiation, besides, poison in some water tables as it burrows its way into the center of the earth. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, me and World Watchman. Yeah, I mean, on its way down, it's going to contaminate waters. Talking about wormwood, Revelation. I mean, I think a lot of things in Revelation have already happened. We're just waiting for a couple other things. Really, I mean, the days of Noah are so close. Maybe it's already starting to happen. On and on and on and on. Get into that, I'll go forever. So this is from the Natural Blaze. Bayer stock crashes after Monsanto's cancer verdict upheld by judge. Analyst estimates $800 billion in future liability. Yeah, so that Bayer just bought Monsanto's and so on and so forth. Don't know why, because there was a very big judgment against Monsanto's. Now Bayer has to, take the brunt of that. Anyways, so about Monsanto. So they're not going to go away just because they're bought out. So anyways, This article starts with Bayer greedily bought and swallowed up the poison pill of Monsanto's without considering its true liability. 57 billion euros of market cap down the drain. Now their headache is taking on an epic proportions. I just love it when they use those words. Epic and proportions and apocalyptic and, yeah, biblical. Yeah, I used to listen to some guy who said that almost every video. He said it every video. There was almost every video included one or both of those words. Yeah, very sickening how someone would like use that dramatization just to get clicks. I won't go any further into that, though I may do it in the future. Yeah, it's time again. I did it once, and I just wasn't prepared as I should have been, and that's okay. I'll just let the Holy Spirit lead me, and it'll be done the right way. So this I want to talk about just briefly, okay? Just going to brief it, because I know you may have heard about it, and you don't want to hear it anymore, or you already have been saturated with this talk about frequencies and the 5G and all that other stuff. There's a couple key things in here I just wanted you to listen to. It's not going to be very long. This is from the Natural Blaze, and that's the study that came out, because that's one thing that everyone is, pretty scared about, or was in the beginning, especially after some congressman or something was talking about it. And he said that there were no studies done. There are not going to be any studies done. This 5G is groundbreaking for America, and America can make billions and billions of dollars. And that if anybody got in the middle of that and tried to stop that, well, they had best not. They'd regret it. So there's being done. And people just need to listen to what these things entail, because it could mean your life, could mean your loved one's life. That's what, we should be protecting each other. So anyways, this study, the normal 2.45 gigahertz Wi-Fi, that alone damages fertility. Okay, so Wi-Fi, I guess, is good for some. Unfortunately, we use it here. More and more I hear about it, but just got to pray on it. Some people, I won't get into that either. But anyway, damages fertility. This is just another way. What is Verizon's 35 gigahertz and the 5G doing? If 2.45 gigahertz, 2.45, damages fertility, what is 35 gigahertz and 5 going to do? Well, there are studies. 5G is here and soon to be in 23 cities. This is an article number 2 in a series about 5G. I'm just going to read a couple things, so don't worry. We won't put you to sleep on this. We have no choice but to cover this because our friends and family in the Sacramento area are suffering from symptoms now. According to their first-hand accounts of nausea, headaches, and chest pains, from Tomas to downtown Sacramento. If we're going to understand Verizon's 4-city rollout 5G and the 23-city AT&T deployment, we have to understand what frequency Wi-Fi currently operates at and the consequences we've already been suffering from that. One correction must be issued to the last article. Most 4G Wi-Fi these days operates at a frequency of 2.45 or a maximum of 5. I have that on my computer. So Verizon's 5G just installed in Sacramento, Houston, Indianapolis, and Los Angeles operates at between 28 and 39 gigahertz. Okay. The headline of this article said 35 gigahertz in particular because that's in the middle of their spectrum. And studies have shown 35 gigahertz frequencies seem to cause immune system problems in rats. That was the study, of course. Last article said Wi-Fi usually operates below 1 gigahertz. That's all you need. Because we paraphrase the misleading info provided by Bryson. The truth is more complicated. 4G Lite, remember that? The phone data we use is supposed to be between 1 gigahertz and 3.8 gigahertz. But what happens if someone uses a Wi-Fi hotspot on their 4G phone? Does that make the frequency 2.45 gigahertz? Questions get complicated, but regardless of the answer, this entire frequency band we're currently being exposed to seems to be fueling a global infertility crisis. That's not actually an exaggeration. We're living through a global infertility crisis. That's another topic, and one we'll cover in the future. So, folks, there you have it. I mean, the big thing is Wi-Fi operates at 1 gigahertz, okay? And right now, what was it? 2.45 gigahertz these days. That's what it should be operated at, and up to 5 gigahertz. Now with this 5G, I believe, what are they talking? 28 gigahertz to 39 gigahertz. That is probably, I don't know, what is that, 10 times more? Or is that 100 times more? Of this frequency. I mean, is that kind of like microwave frequencies lengths? I mean, I wish I knew more about this stuff. I know somebody who teaches that too. I think that same Travaris person also talks about these frequencies and what certain frequencies actually do to certain things. I'm going to go find that. I'm going to put this note down here for a second. Go find frequency info from Travaris. Yes, because I saw it once before. It's amazing what some of these frequencies do. You know, microwaves. Anyways, they got microwaves on top of these poles. You know, see this pole right here? We've got 2 of them, and they got 2 right here. We've got 2 of them within, I'd say, 2-mile radius of my house. And some of these things can go as far as 20 miles in circumference, you know, in a radius. Anyways, if they wanted to turn that on and use their direct energy weapons, the sound of these frequencies, you know, the things that they used in those riots last year, the ones that first started with Brown and all that, they had their MRAPs out there with these dish-like things on top of them, and they were turning on frequency to these people. You know, I knew the terms better a little while ago, but I'll have to refresh my memory. Yeah, and so on we go. Blacklisted news. New study again links fluoride to ADHD in children. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of studies out there, people. There's all kinds of studies out there about Monsanto's and their weed killer and how they've caused autism to rise over, what was it? It was a few 100%. And people that were, you know, children that were born autistic and or with other types of autism type, but not as severe, what do you call it? Not formalities. Anyways, forget the word. I hope I'm not coming down with, and those things too. I mean, look at the amount of brain memory and things that I deal with all the time at the nursing home now. People with memory problems, or not just living out another existence in their head. I forget the terms for them right now. Maybe I'm getting a little tired already, but yeah. I mean, all this stuff, with the spraying in the air, and why aren't we stopping that? Why can't we stop Ken spraying? I mean, somebody told the president one time, he said he was going to stop it. Why is it still going on? If there's a reason, a good reason why they're spraying, we want to know. I mean, you can always, file a petition. You're going to need at least, 5,000 to 10,000 signatures in order for the White House to even look at it. Get the actual numbers, may have been 5,000. Yeah, I mean, why is nobody, I know, name Mike, his name Mike. Well, you got geoengineering guy and you got natural news guy who's, got a new website, for YouTubers that have been blocked. It used to be called Real.video. Now it's called Brighton, BRIGHTEON.com. And I don't know, some of these things that are so blatant out there and why we can't do anything about it. Well, we can pray. I mean, that's the first and, best thing to do first. Pray about it. Usually that's all you'll need. So this is from the Western Journal. So, Hollywood star threatens revolution. Blood in the streets if Democrats don't win. They don't win. Streets. This guy looks familiar, but he looks quite old. Character actor James Cromwell. He said in a recent interview he believed that there would be a revolution and blood in the streets if Americans didn't stop President Donald Trump. I don't know what he's talking about. There's already blood in the streets from the Antifa and Black Lives Matter. George Soros funded and democratically funded, I'm sure. And here's some other news. Merkel to step down as the Christian Democratic Union leader in a dramatic move. Besides the fact that they are meeting with Russia, Turkey, and Iran. So Angela Merkel will not seek re-election as chair of Germany's ruling CDU party. Effectively standing down as leader of the Christian Democratic Union, a post she has held for 18 years. After a disastrous performance by her party in regional elections in Germany's state of Hesse on Sunday badly dented her authority and followed an ultimatum by her junior coalition partner. Bye-bye, so long. And the last article we got here also from the Western Journal. Chinese currency at decade low after disastrous trade war. Okay. And amid the increased pressure from the U.S., including a threat of additional tariffs, China's currency continued its deep decline this week. And so they are also meeting with Japanese people. China and Japanese or Japan, they're not good friends. They never have it. They've been centuries old haters of each other. They don't like each other. And now for them to get together and start talking, I don't know what they're talking about because I couldn't get on this one site because they wanted me to pay them money in order to see the article. And I don't need to tell you what I think of that. Watchmen do not charge, okay, for informing in the people. We don't charge the people first in order for them to get the news that there's an army coming. Come on. If you find a watchman and he's going to charge you in order for you to go to a seminar so you can hear what he's going to say, or give out 12 predictions, like there's going to be a drought in Africa, okay? Yeah, I can guarantee that right now myself. There's going to be a drought in Africa. Yeah, and there's going to be rain along the Amazon in South America. There's going to be rain. Okay? I'm not paying, and I shouldn't have to pay for information that a watchman should be gathering and giving freely. He's there to protect the people, to warn the people specifically. Okay? That's what we're on the wall for. We search and we look onto the horizon, back and forth, up and down, and report to the people. We don't blackmail them, okay? We don't order them to pay us money and then you'll get the information. You find anybody who's out there who actually wants you to pay for it? I mean, unless it's somebody who's done a lot of research, wrote a book, stuff like that is okay, I guess. I mean, everybody, why not write a book? I guess it's called America, and the American way, a capitalist, whatever. I mean, that's part of who we are. But, to say that you got very pertinent and very important information that's going to be coming out in a month at our seminar, okay? And so you have to wait a month. You not only have to do that, but you have to buy tickets or you got to buy the CDs. Yeah, only $39.99. Anyways, no, that is not the true watchman. I'm sorry, it's not. So many people that, I don't know, I'm not going to talk about that. I'll talk about that when I have the facts and everything else next to me and I can give you more information, but really, I don't think it's spirit led if you have to pay for your information. Information is free. Truth is free. In more ways than one, right? All right, so with that, guys, it is Wednesday. It is hump day. And I do have somebody called Michael at work, and I did do that. Yep. Mike. What day it is? That kind of stuff. And he's heard it many times before. I still think it's funny, but anyway, so with that, people, God bless y'all. Man, I'll see you on Friday, if not before, unless, something happens. Or I just feel like talking, about something else besides the news. And I won't come on, unless it's an emergency, till Friday. So, keep your loved ones close, proximity to you. Keep them always around you and love them and forgive them. There's nothing in this world that you can't forgive them for that the Lord hasn't forgiven you already, or him or her. So with that, keep them close, people. God bless you all, and peace out.